Hey, Arcturus here. Today, we're looking at the Grey Knights Combat Patrol from Games Workshop for Warhammer 40k. It comes with a Grey Knights librarian, a 5-man strike squad, 5 terminators, and the Nemesis Dreadknight. Look at the back here. Comes with the full weapon options for all those kits, so you can make all the various types of strike squads. You can make the paladins instead of terminators, and you can make whichever of the dread knights you would like to. Any of the weapons, sword, hammer, any of the guns, multiple guns. If you build this for the combat patrol, it would be the 5-man strike squad, the terminator, and then either the 5-man terminator squad or the Nemesis Dreadknight. And it has the weapon, and the app, as of right now at least, has the weapon options listed out there, so it's a little easier to work with. These haven't really had a huge update in terms of sculpts in a while. They may be on the docket coming up. These are some of the older sculpts for Marines, so they are a little shorter than the current Primaris. That may change in the future, it may not. It's up in the air as of now. So it comes with instructions where, the usual instructions for everything, but it does have the full options for the Nemesis Dreadknight, which does make it a pretty good box. It would only really be better if it gave you the full 10-man strike squad instead of the 5-man, but that's all right. And here, it does have instructions for all of them. So if you wanted to build any of the other strike squads, you can. And I believe it even has instructions for the paladin. Yes, and it does. It does have instructions for the paladin, which is the alternate build for the terminators. And then some additional, data sheets and stuff. I'm not sure if these are still for 9th edition or if these are updated for 10th. I don't know if they repackaged these with new instructions. I would suspect no, since they haven't updated the codex for them yet. But they might have. I'm not sure on that. So here we have the librarian, just a small sprue, typical Grey Knights setup. Pretty small kit, really. I don't know about you guys, but I got into Grey Knights from the game Chaos Gate. I always thought they were cool. I think when I was younger, I had even read the book, Omnibus, for them, but it's been long enough, I really don't remember it. But I've always thought they were cool, just not cool enough to really get into, and then I played Chaos Gate, which was a very fun game, and that really made me consider picking these guys up. The only thing that's stopping me from going further than the Combat Patrol is that the sculpts haven't been updated anytime recently, and Castellan Crow just got a new model, which I believe is closer to the size of Primaris Marine than the old Marines. Although lore-wise, I don't think anything changed. But if they are going to be updating the sculpts, I'm probably going to hold off. So here we have I believe this is part of the Terminator squad. It does have I believe for Terminators, this is the Narthicum. It's the thing that lets you bring back one at full health, although I don't quite recall what the name is. And then this is the second set of sprue for the Dreadknight. And then here is the rest of the sprue for the Terminators, I believe. Or is this the Strike Squad? I want to say this is for Terminators. I'll have to take a look. These are not a set I am as familiar with, but we will see them fully assembled. You do get a cool little demon head trophy. That's nice. Some swords, halberds, a hammer, staff. They do have some cool options. I think it'd be really cool if they updated these to at least be more modern sculpts. And then we have some bases in there. I know some people think they're a little old, and I understand that. They are a little old. Can't argue with that. But I do think I aesthetics behind them, even if the sculpts do need a nice update. Let's move that out of the background there. So I believe this is the strike squad, front and back. So let's take a look at the completed models for the Grey Knights Combat Patrol. We'll start off by looking at the librarian. Very nice detail on these models. Nice and highly ornate armor. In general, some shoulder pads have a bit room for you to put your own symbol on. Book on top. He does have another hand option, and you don't have to give him the craziest. But I thought this looked cooler. He's pretty good on the field, at least in 10th edition, in the Combat Patrol size of the game. Here we're looking at one of the Terminators. This one I gave the Thunder Hammer, although they only really have Nemesis Force weapons these days. There's not really a distinction between the various hammers or axes or swords. This one I gave 2 swords. See, the armor is slightly different as we go through each of these, from one to the other, giving a nice, highly ornate, almost unique look to each model. They're still along the same themes. So here, this one's holding a demon head and a sword, and they all have the wrist-mounted bolters. Nice tabard there, and just, again, lots of detail here on these models, on these Terminators. So it does come with enough guns to make either the Terminators or the Paladins. I went with what was on the box because I was planning to only really play Combat Patrol with these guys, and they have you take the psycannon, and then, purity seals just built into the model. So the only one that's not built as on the box is this guy with the banner, and they didn't have you build any of them with the banner, and I look at that banner and go, well, if I have that, I'm going to build that because it looks cool. I did consider giving this guy the psycannon, but this way, if I ever do decide to expand the Grey Knights for my force, I have room to have a banner holder going forward without the psycannon. Here's one of the Strike Marines, a little bit, definitely smaller model. This one with halberd. Again, still detailed armor, less ornate than the Terminators, of course, but still ornate. Another one with the hammer. One thing I do think will happen, maybe in the next couple years, although it could be out into 11th edition, is that the Grey Knights will be upscaled to be more Primaris size. I believe Castellan Crow has already had that done, and with the release of Space Marine Primaris Terminators, I think we really will see the Grey Knights upscaled with some brand new models for their Terminators and Strike Squads. And this one has the psilencer, which is a Gatling gun, lots of shots. Looks pretty cool, I think. The other options are a flamethrower or another psycannon. And then this one is supposed to be the squad leader, or Justicar. And he's got a nice impaling a demon head there and pointing at who's next. Very cool. The only model out of the range, and it's not a very big range, so there's not too many to choose from, is this guy. And I just personally do not like the baby carrier look of it. I think if they had put armor over the front of the guy in here, and maybe just so his head was peeking out, it would look a lot better. But it kind of looks like a cross between a Rock'em Sock'em robot and a baby carrier, and I just think it doesn't look great. There are a couple different options for like this plate, and there's a bunch of little extras that come in the kit that you can use to add to your Terminators or Strike Squad to really give each of them a unique look with the little extra add-ins. I didn't choose to put them on because I'm just using this for combat patrol. This one has the psycannon as well. You can put a second gun on it, and I think still wield the sword. I believe that's how the ancients are, and it might also be for the standard Nemesis Dreadknight as well. I chose not to. I went with what was on the box since I'm just planning to use it for combat patrol. And, well, there we have it. That is the Grey Knights Combat Patrol fully assembled.